almost ready. Okay, so we're recording, and we were talking a little bit about before the meeting started about how one of the great things about SEO is it lasts a long time. And I had back when I was first learning SEO in 2007, a guy that was showing me how to do it and doing some of it for me ranked one of my pages, and it was on the first page of Google for a pretty good laptop repair keyword for about 14 years. And all he did was like a few months worth of work. And this generally will how long SEO lasts generally depends on how competitive the market is. But that's the amazing thing about SEO is it can last a long time. And the other great thing about SEO is, it works for almost every business. In fact, the only business that SEO is a bad channel for are new products, especially like brand new, innovative products that no one's seen before. Google works best. Google search works best, and search engine optimization works best for established keywords, right? Or even if the keywords have low volume, like 10, 20 searches a month, or even if you can't see any searches online, but people are searching, but the databases like Google Keyword Planner and other tools like that haven't caught up yet. So it's important to know, what the best channels are for your business. It's easy to say, oh yeah, just be everywhere. But of course, there's a cost associated with every channel. Google Ads can be very powerful, SEO very powerful, and the two can work together very powerfully. But again, you're only advertising on Google. You're only being found on Google. And as we all know, SEO has changed dramatically. It's been changing rapidly all the time, but ever since AI, it's been changing at a much faster pace. And people are splintered. Where they're searching just varies by the type of person, the age group, where they're from, what they're searching for, what their needs are. And so, I remember when my store, I had a neat concept store on Abbot Kinney in Venice Beach that was the later evolution of my computer repair business. And when I first opened my store, I walked around to all the business owners. And if you don't know what Abbot Kinney is, it was voted the coolest street in America in 2012 by GQ magazine. So it got really famous, and it's a crazy street in unique businesses. And I went and introduced myself to everybody and said, hey, I'm on the street. I have a new store, and I wanted to check out their stores too. And I met this one girl, and she asked me what I did. I said, oh, we do, SEO and computer repair. And she's like, I go, do you do SEO? And she's like, no, we don't need to. We get all our business from Instagram. So, a clothing store, SEO might not be the best thing. It depends on the clothing store. Restaurants, maybe SEO is not the best channel, with DoorDash and Grubhub and all these other ways to find businesses. SEO might not be the best channel. It might be something to complement an overall marketing strategy, but it may not be the best. And certainly, if you have a brand new product that no one's ever seen before, why would anybody be searching for it, right? So SEO would be a terrible channel in that case. But that said, for almost every other business, SEO is consistently, for the past at least 15 years, every year they do these marketing surveys, and they ask marketers at corporations, small businesses, medium businesses, what channels, what marketing methods are driving the highest ROI. And every year, email marketing is number one. Why? It's 7 times easier to sell to somebody that you've already sold to before. So, but number 2 is always SEO. It's almost always been SEO from what I remember. And even there's a famous quote from Bill Gates a few years back saying that SEO is probably the most important skill that, technique, marketing channel that any business can master. So it's a good thing you guys are all here today. If you're just embarking on your journey with SEO, or you've been doing it for a long time, hopefully you'll learn some things today, even those of you who've been doing it. And for those of you just starting out or with a little bit of experience, I'm sure you're going to learn quite a bit. So, I'm going to do just a few slides. I think there's like 12 or 14 slides. nothing compared to one of my other classes, which is about 60 slides. It's an AI marketing class. And I'll share all that with you guys later. But we're going to do a lot of over the shoulder. I'm going to share my screen. You guys can share your websites in chat, and we're going to go through them, and I'm going to show you in real time how to improve them. And then at the end of the class, we'll even take a peek inside the back end of WordPress and show you not just theoretically how to apply the techniques that I show you today, but also how to actually do them for real, right? To actually optimize your site yourself. And some of you may, well, we'll just leave it at that for now. Let me start the slideshow here. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, can everybody see my screen okay?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Excellent. If you can, then probably everybody can.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Okay. All right, so I'm excited to have you here for the Mastering Search Engine Optimization, a Beginner's Guide. This course is designed to help you understand how SEO works, and more importantly, how to use it to your advantage. And I'm not kidding you. It is one of the most powerful things you can learn. And a lot of times, you know, depending on your market, you know, just employing the most basic SEO can help you completely dominate your competitors. Because a lot of times, especially like blue collar work and certain industries, you know, they're still, you know, these guys are, you know, busy out working all the time. They don't have a lot of time to work on their website. So you can move into a market and take over sometimes. And if not, at least you can improve your online visibility. So whether you're a business owner, a marketer, or somebody just getting started with a website, you're in the right place. Over the course, I'm going to cover how search engines work. It's important to understand how the search results page is laid out, and it changes all the time depending on what you're searching for and algorithm updates. We're going to go over the key elements of SEO, like keywords, content, links, and site structure. Keywords, of course, we're going to get into that. That's the most important thing. Keyword research that nobody does, and it's crazy to me. I think out of the hundreds of companies that I've worked with doing search engine optimization, exactly one has done keyword research. That's like, you know, 300, 400 companies setting off to embark on a journey to Antarctica and not taking a map with them or a GPS. And of course, they all get lost. They don't know what they're doing. And then the one keyword research that the company did was actually really terrible, and we had to do it over again. So it's a pandemic out there of lack of keyword research, and it's a huge disadvantage to companies who don't do it. And then the practical steps you can take to improve your rankings and get more visibility, of course. The goal is to help you drive more targeted traffic, build trust with your audience, and outrank the competition, even if you're starting from scratch. So let's get started. I want to first interject here and introduce you to Chris. He's over in the chat. He's going to be moderating the chat. If you have any questions, you know, of course, we're going to have a Q&A at the end of the session. But if you have any small questions on anything that I'm talking about, go ahead and paste those in the chat. And of course, if you have a website that you would like reviewed for free to get expert advice on, not just with SEO, by the way, we're also going to talk about conversions, because to succeed online is incredibly complicated. It's literally thousands of things, but it boils down to two: get found and convert the people that find you. SEO is going to help you get found. It's not going to help convert the people that find you. So we're going to, when we submit your sites, I'm going to very quickly go over your SEO, how well the page is optimized. And also we're going to quickly take a look at the conversion optimization of the site. And then later at the end of the class, I'll share with you a free CRO class that I have that you can also join. All right. So everybody say hi to Chris. He's amazing, by the way. It's a great story with Chris. He hired us to do his SEO for his Geeks on Command computer repair. And he, you know, he liked it so much that he became part of our team, and he rose to the top of the team. And he's now, out of 10 people, he's my #1. So it's a really fantastic story. Chris still operates Geeks on Command. He operates it remotely from New Jersey, and he has locations in different places around the country that he sends technicians to. And he did it all with search engine optimization. So he's amazing team member. He's also a success story. And by the way, within a few years, Chris was teaching me things. So it's a vast field, this SEO. And I'm every day reading about every single workday. I'm reading about SEO and learning and trying to, get aligned and get ahead on what's working and what's not. Okay. So why does SEO even matter? Well, SEO guides customers to you. Instead of your audience stumbling onto a competitor site, SEO helps your website show up when they search for products or services. So for example, like if I type in, drain cleaning near me, my sink is plugged up or my toilet's plugged up, I type in drain cleaning near me, the chances that I pick the very first company are extremely high. In fact, it's about 50% for most service businesses. So ranking number 1 on Google, you're going to get half. Like if 100 people search a day or 500 a month or whatever it is, let's say 100 a month to make it easy, and you're getting 50 of those calls. And then everybody else is sharing the other 50, right? That's insane. In fact, the top 3 listings get about 80 to 90% of all the calls in service industry, right? Here's an interesting thing to consider though, right? If what you're selling is not rocket science, meaning you're a drain cleaner, right? That's super simple. It's like someone comes out, they unplug your drain, they charge you, and they're gone. You don't need to do a lot of research. However, if you're looking for a realtor to help you find a house, or if you're looking for, a travel agent to help you do a tour around the world, you're going to do some research. You're not going to call just the first person, right? So that's why being on the first page, just the first page, is powerful for a lot of businesses. It only becomes more important to be in those top 3 when what you're selling is simple. The rule of thumb is this: if your business is complicated, if your business is emotionally laden, like for example, an attorney and you were in an accident, or you're suing a doctor for malpractice, or expensive, right? So complicated, expensive, or emotionally laden, then people are going to search, and they'll probably even search past the first page of Google. They're going to search all around, right? So, but if you have a really simple business, they're going to pick whatever they see and have good reviews, as we're going to see in a bit. Higher rankings lead to more traffic. It's simple. People tend to click the top results. If your site's near the top, you'll naturally get more visitors. And notice I say near the top. It doesn't have to be at the top, as I just talked about. And more traffic usually means more sales. Again, but we get into the conversion aspect of this. I remember I actually needed a plumber, and I called 7 of them before one of them picked up the phone, and that's who I gave my business to, because I didn't, these other plumbers are like, oh, leave me a message, I'll get back to you. It's like, I have a clogged drain. I don't have time for you to wait to get back to me. In fact, statistics show that within 5 minutes, if you wait more than 5 minutes to get back to a lead, you're 50% less likely to convert. And if you wait an hour, you're 90% less likely to convert that lead, right? So again, more traffic usually means more sales. It doesn't always. It depends on your infrastructure, how good your website copy is, how fast you're getting back to people, and so on and so forth. And lastly, SEO is strategic marketing. It's not about guesswork. It's about using proven methods to make your business more visible at the right people at the right time. Okay. And one of the crazy things that you keep hearing, and I've been hearing this, I swear, for 15, 16 years, is SEO is dead. It is not dead, I promise you. I have one client that gets 20 new customers a day online. Yeah, it's a combination of Google ads, radio ads, and SEO. And I have another customer, he's been with me for over 10 years. It's a screen business. Like they make custom screens and custom doors and so forth like that. He gets probably 5 to 6 leads every single day, 7 days a week. And that's from the SEO that we've been doing for years. SEO still works, I promise you. It's always going to be changing, and it's possible that its market share is going to decrease, but also the population is growing. So the volume, the sheer volume of people using Google is still extremely high, and Google is still #1. Okay, so this example here is, using SEO and CRO. My agency Brobex Marketing helped wash bins. We helped them multiply local search visibility by 800%. That's insane. And how, by the way, guys, and I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to switch off the slideshow here, and I'm going to go over here to Local Dominator. And it's hard to know if your SEO is working if you're not tracking progress, right? You can track it manually if you don't have a tool, but it's way better if you have a tool. This is a tool. It's $59 a month. It's Local Dominator. And this is how we track our clients. Once a month, we do a scan, sometimes more frequently. But just to give you an example here, this is a brand new location. This is called Wash Bins. And when we started, this didn't exist a year ago. This location did not exist at all. We opened it, let me see here. Well, this is a new scan, but we opened it about a year ago. And we started off with a very small 28 square mile grid. This is called a grid right here. And what this is the company's ranking compared to where somebody is searching from. So this is where they're located, right here in Newport Beach. Okay. So of course, if you were in Newport Beach, right at their location, they're #1. #2 is OC Cleanacan, #3, 4, and so forth, right? Now, if we go back here, sorry, go back to June 1st, you can see the difference. So this was March 2025, and you can see just in 3 months, the progress we've made. We've been making, this is now, instead of 28 square miles, this is 572 square miles. And you can see in March, if you went, these map pins, by the way, I think are 2 miles apart. So if you went 4 miles away, now they're not in the top 3 anymore. They're #6, right? But now look, as of June 1st, look at that. That's SEO. That's good search engine optimization. That's how we track it. So when I say, we increased search local visibility by 800%, this is the second location. What I mean by second location? So, well, if I go Wash Bins, their primary location is in Pacific Palisades. But their second location, that's been there for 5 years. But their second location that we opened is in Newport Beach, right? So if we look at the Local Dominator over here for Wash Bins, and this is a much bigger range here. This is 3,000 square miles. Guys, this is what absolute domination looks like. This is one location that's in the map pack consistently in the top 3 across a wide area here. This is a massive area of 3,000 square miles. And way over here, near border of Ventura County, they're still in the top 3. So when we started, I don't have, it'll take too much time to show you, where they started. But I assure you, we can go back here. Anyway, you can see this is, no, it's not going back for some reason. Anyway, okay. So when we started, they had a small range here of about 300 square miles that they were in the top 3 mostly for. And so we kept expanding the range so that we could track their rankings. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to open a new location out here, probably, Alhambra area, West Covina. And we're going to expand and slowly start to dominate all of Southern California for what they do. What do? They do trash bin cleaning. So trash bin cleaning, this company comes out and cleans the bins that you take out to the street for the trash man to come pick up, right? So this is what they do. Now, they had this older, more outdated website. We rebuilt the website. We changed the way that people sign up. So when I say, we multiplied local visibility and increased organic visibility, we're going to get into the difference there. But just real quick, I'm going to show you, like if I say trash bin cleaning near me, we can see right here, Wash Bins is #2. Of course, I'm pretty far away from their location, but that's called the local pack. And then you can see here, they are #1 in the organic. So you can see they're And often they're also in the ads, depends on the time of day. But look at that, they're number 1, and they're also number 3. So they have multiple locations ranking. So they're just crushing their competition. And this is the customer I was telling you about, gets in the heat of the summer will get 20 or more signups a day. And that's new customers a day. And these customers are paying recurring, a lot of them. They're paying on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, right? So, all right, here we go. Anyway, back to what we were saying. We doubled their conversion rates by 100%, from 2% to 4%. We grew their revenue from 1.6 million to annual recurring revenue to 4.3 million. And we did that with SEO and CRO. So yes, SEO still works. Absolutely. Okay. And I forgot to introduce myself. I try not to like promote myself a lot. And, you know, even that example that I'm giving you there, yeah, it's kind of a promotion, but it's just a real, you know, I think it helps to see the success of other business because really what we're selling when we're selling SEO is hope. Like when someone signs up with us and they don't have any business, what we're going to give them is hope. It's like, stay with us 6 months, a year or more, and we promise we're gonna change your business. We're gonna get you a lot more business, and that's what we do. So anyway, I'm Robert Portillo, and since 2001, I've served over 10,000 customers. I of course have an IT background. I've been studying marketing since 1990. In particular, the way people think, right? How people make purchase decisions. And I founded 3 successful businesses: PC Fixer, Tech Studio, Brobex Marketing. I'm going to show you and give you a link to CRO Junkies, the largest CRO conversion optimization group in the world. And worked with, and this is the honest truth, we did IT work on the set of Westworld for HBO. Paramount Studios, I personally went into the lighting director's computer and fixed their computer, which was infected with 57,000 viruses. Marvel Studios, we did a bunch of work, and one of my technicians got to meet Stan Lee. We've worked with, and these are just a handful of the businesses that we worked with some of the biggest businesses in Los Angeles and around the world. Not just doing IT work, doing marketing and doing all kinds of stuff, all kinds of technology, you name it. My next door neighbor used to be Davis Guggenheim III, and we did a lot of IT work for him, and his net worth was $3.1 billion. And our dogs used to go on play dates. He used to come over. Anyway, I know a lot of people after serving 10,000 customers. And I've made a lot of mistakes and learned a lot of amazing things. And hopefully I can share a lot of that with you guys today. So understanding basic search engine. So I know this sucks. You know, this is the technical part of it, but you have to understand how this works, or else, you know, I'm going to, you know, like I said, like the saying goes, like, it's better to teach someone how to fish than to give them a fish, right? You give them a fish, they eat for a day. Teach them to fish, they can eat for a lifetime, right? So you have to understand these really basic things. Okay, number 1, there's crawling, right? Search engines, without you even seeing, are constantly crawling the internet. And it's an automated program called spiders or bots, and they scan the internet to discover new or updated content or websites. So if you're a new business and you make a new page, then Google will see it. The way they'll see it is from crawling, from these spiders, right? From these bots. Next thing is indexing. Excuse me. If they find your content and they like it, they may choose to index it. So the interesting thing about that, what I mean here is, like, if I say trash bin cleaning, let's just say service now, or let's just do something totally different. Let's say probate attorney, Los Angeles. All right, let's go down here to the bottom. Look at this, 10 pages, right? With 10 links each. So if we go 10, 14, there we go. That's it. 17, let's see how far it goes. And that's it. We're at the end of, there's no more. So what we're saying is, like, if there's 17 and there's 10 pages per page, that's only 170 people that they've indexed. It's 170 probate attorneys. I promise you, there are many more probate attorneys than that. And it doesn't matter if I say, you know, I could say probate attorney USA, right? In the entire United States, it's going to be the same thing. There's generally about 200 pages in the index, and that's it. So if you don't make good content, you're not going to be indexed. So that's why another reason SEO is so important. You can put all this hard work into your page, But if you're not speaking the language of search engines, you may not even get indexed. You may literally be completely invisible. That's what's at stake here. After indexing comes ranking. So when someone performs a search, the search engine uses a complex algorithm to decide which pages are the most relevant and useful for that specific query, and then ranks them accordingly. And so finally, users see the search results, which are those ranked pages displayed from most to least relevant and most trusted to least trusted. So if I type in, let's say mortgage service near me, right? I know I misspelled that. I just click there. They're showing two directories as number one, and then they're saying, hey, this company, New American Funding, is who we recommend the most. And then up here in the places, they're recommending these three. These are distinctly different algorithms. You can rank here, but not down here. You can rank here, but not up here. Or you could rank in both or neither. They're totally separate algorithms. Okay. Local versus organic. That's what I was just talking about here. This is local, right? Or if I go up here and I click maps, which there, oh, it's right here. It changes all the time, by the way, that menu item. So this is also another search result page. This is local, and this is kind of a continuation. If I click on more places, even though it looks different, it's basically the same thing. So what we're seeing here is about local listings, right? Now the local listings are cool. They're really powerful, especially for service businesses, because they show a lot of information. In fact, a lot of times it's enough information to make an informed decision. You know where they are, you know their number of reviews, the review rating, you know, there's even a little quote from a review, you know, their hours, you can get directions, you can visit their website, right? Whereas down here, you don't have all that stuff. Now, if you do schema, what's called schema, you can get your reviews here. Very few companies know about that. Look at that. On the entire page, you only see one company that knows, that's smart enough to do schema. That's part of SEO. And we're going to touch on that late in the class. Okay. So think of organic like a national TV commercial. It's ideal for businesses that operate or sell products across the country or even globally, right? This organic section here is good for national businesses, whereas the local is just that, right? It's like putting up a billboard in your own neighborhood. It's designed for businesses that serve a specific geographic area, like restaurants, dentists, or home service providers. It focuses on area-specific searches and aims to appear in the map pack. That top three listing you see in Google with maps and reviews. We call this the map pack, 3-pack, the local pack, the snack pack. It used to be 7 many years ago. Now Google's only showing 3. So in short, use organic SEO for reach and scale, and use local SEO for proximity and trust within a community. That said, Google will often localize the ranking. So if I say near me, they're going to localize, and then these listings down here will also be local listings in the organic section. So it gets more complicated than I just explained, but we're not going to get too much into that. Okay. Understanding keywords. Now, this, if you remember one thing throughout this, at the end of this class, is do keyword research. If you don't know how to do it, hire somebody that does. And yes, we do that. If you want to hire us, like if you have a very small budget and you just want to spend money on one thing, make it keyword research. And what are keywords? Well, they're the words or phrases people type in search engines when looking for answers, for products and for services. So if you know what your audience is searching for, you can create content that matches their intent. That's so important, right? You don't know what people are searching for. And if you guess, then you can make the mistake that a lot of people make. Now, I'm going to open up one of my favorite tools here. Been using this and similar tools for a very long time, at least 15 years. And we're going to go over to the Keyword Explorer. And I'm going to type in, like, say one of you, let me look here in the chat and just to see what kind of businesses are being shared, if any yet. Okay, so this is HRC. So it's Human Resources Consulting. Okay, we're going to say Human Resources Consulting. and I'm going to search. And now we go over here and I'm going to click view all, right? And we're going to look at these keywords over here. Now, human resources consulting has a keyword difficulty of 24 out of 100. Not too bad. If it's green, it's not too competitive. The search volume is estimated at 1,100 searches a month. The global search volume is 3,200, right? But what if everybody is targeting human resources consulting, right? And you decide, well, it has less volume at 500, but the keyword difficulty is only 13, human resources consulting services. Or what if you decide to go even further down and find a longer tail keyword like, well, that's not good. Top human resources consulting firms. Well, that one only has 40 searches, but it's way less competitive, right? That would be a good blog article, for example, right? So it's important to know what the volume is, the difficulty of the keyword, how competitive it is, and so on and so forth. We're not going to get too much into this right now, but it's important to do your keyword research for that reason. Is if you make the mistake that everybody else makes, you start gunning for the same keyword everybody else is gunning for, and now you're competing with people that maybe have been doing SEO for weeks, months, years, decades, and you'll never catch up without a big budget. And even then, it might take years, right? So why not go after a keyword that no one else is targeting? And you don't know what that keyword is until you do keyword research. Now, what I just showed you here, that's not keyword research. This is a keyword search. Keyword research, and by the way, not to tout Chris again, but he does all our company's keyword research. He's done keyword research that takes 30, 40, 50 hours for one company. And that's just scratching the surface. He could have gone hundreds of hours, but they got to start somewhere. They can't just target every single keyword and don't have unlimited budgets, right? Every keyword you target takes time and money to rank for. Okay, so primary keywords. So primary keywords are the main topic of the page, the core phrase you want to rank that page for. Each page should focus on just one primary keyword to avoid confusion and maximize relevance. And then there are supporting keywords. Usually there are 10 to 20 related terms that give search engines more context to help your content rank for variations. Think of them as the cast that supports your star player, the primary keyword. And finally, long tail keywords. These are more specific phrases, usually longer, like best running shoes for flat feet. So a primary keyword would be, best running shoes, right? A second supporting keyword might be best blue running shoes, right? And then a long tail keyword might be best running shoes for flat feet, right? So these are great. Long tail keywords are great because they tend to have less competition and attract visitors who are further along in the buying journey, right? So if someone types in best running shoes, they might just be curious. But if they type in best blue running shoes, now they're much more interested. You can tell by the keyword, the modifier blue, that they're more interested in buying those shoes. But if they're typing best running shoes for flat feet, you can be darn sure they're much more interested than if they were just typing in best running shoes, right? Now, they're all important. So when you plan your content, think in layers: primary keywords, supporting terms, and long tails to round it out. Now, I'm going to give you an example of this. We're going to go to what's called the Site Explorer here. If I just go to dashboard, it takes me there automatically. But I'm going to just go here, and I'm going to go to A21.
Robert?
Yes.
Can you make the screen bigger?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to zoom in here. This is A21 Dispensary, a company that we just hired us, I don't know, 6 months ago, 5 months ago or something. And I'm going to go over here to their top pages as an example. And we're going to go over here to this one right here. This is an article we wrote, Sativa versus Indica versus Hybrid, a beginner's guide, right? Now, if we click on this here and open that back up in the Site Explorer, we're going to see how many keywords this page ranks for. What's going on here? Here we go. 572 keywords. So in a few months, we were able to rank this. This was actually ranking for, I think, 2,700 visitors a month. and then it kind of went down, and it's now, I'm not sure what the traffic is now, but it's 567. Still, one article drives 567 people to their website every month. So if we click on keywords here, we're going to see what the keywords they rank for. So here's a primary keyword, sativa effects, right? Or a primary keyword, sativa versus hybrid. A longer tail keyword might be found if we look down here. What is the difference between sativa, indica, and hybrid, right? You can see it has lower search volume. So that's what we mean by primary, supporting, and long tail keywords. And now if we look at this page, and I'm going to show you, by the way, I'm going to be using this tool a lot, and I highly recommend it. And there are others like it. It's free. It's called the SEO Pro extension, and you just type in SEO Pro extension, and you just install it into Google, and it pops up here, your toolbar here, your extension bar. And you might need to, by the way, click here to pin it to see it. And what this does is it gives me a quick overview of the SEO here. Now I can see through their headings here that they're targeting this main keyword, and that these are some of the supporting keywords. You can tell because they are in H tags, and we'll get more into what H tags are a little bit later. Okay, let's go back here to the next slide. All right, high search volume. Choosing powerful keywords. Now, high search volume is one aspect of a powerful keyword. This means a lot of people are searching for it, right? The higher the volume, the more potential traffic you could earn. Low competition, right? So these are the four main factors that you want to look for. High search volume, low competition. Low competition are keywords that not many other companies or websites are targeting. Lower competition means it's easier to rank, especially if your site is newer or has lower domain authority. What is domain authority? Well, it just means your site is new and doesn't have a lot of what Google considers authority, which oftentimes means backlinks. Backlinks are simply when another website that they trust links to your website. Commercial intent, right? We talked about this a little bit earlier with like blue running shoes, right? I'm sorry, best running shoes. That might be an informational keyword, right? You don't want to, unless you're writing a blog article and you're generating ad revenue or something, that's the purpose of your SEO, is to get traffic to a blog article or something like that. You generally want to have commercial intent, people that want to buy, right? The commercial intent tells us that the searcher is ready to take action, whether it's making a purchase, signing up, booking a call, downloading your app, whatever it is. And these keywords are valuable because they're tied directly to conversions. And finally, high relevance. The keyword must match what your content is about and what your audience is actually looking for. Even if a keyword has great volume, it won't help if it's not relevant to your product or service. That's why if I type in auto repair, I don't get, a page showing me running shoes because it's not relevant. So high search volume, low competition, commercial intent, and high relevance. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about creating long tail keywords that drive results. Since you're all beginners, I'm assuming that, long tail keywords are, where you should be spending a lot of your time. Long tail keywords are longer, more specific phrases that include modifiers, words that make the intent clearer. These modifiers can include adjectives like best, affordable, top rated, or prepositional phrases like near me, in Chicago, for beginners, or for seniors. And here's why these matter. Long tail keywords typically have lower competition, but higher intent. For example, someone searching for best running shoes for flat feet in Chicago is far more likely to convert than someone just searching running shoes, right? Especially with that in Chicago at the end, right? It's like they're looking for a store in Chicago that has the best running shoes, right, for flat feet. So even though, what would you rather have? A bunch of people going to your website just to read and never buy your product or service, or a few people coming to your website and actually buying from you, right? That's why long tail keywords matter. You can also tap into searcher psychology by thinking about how people phrase their questions, like how do I, or what's the best, or where can I buy, right? So a lot of times simply having those words on your page will make you rank compared to your competitors. For example, if your website is selling running shoes and you have something, a button that says buy now, and all of your competitors have a button that says add to cart, well, you might just rank when people say, where I want to buy these shoes now or something like that. So kind of a rough example there, but a lot of times just having the words on your page and none of your competitors do will get you that ranking. It's pretty crazy, especially in low competition markets. So by combining these types of phrases with your core topic, you can create SEO content that ranks faster and converts better. Okay. Once you understand what kind of keywords you want, the next step is to use tools to actually find them. So let's start with free options. Google Keyword Planner. So Google Keyword Planner, I use all the time. It's free. You just have to sign up for an AdWords account. You don't have to pay for any AdWords, but you do have to have an AdWords account. So you just go to ads.google.com, sign up, and then /AW/Keyword Planner, or just type in Google Keyword Planner and you'll find it. And then you click on this on a basic level, just click on Discover New Keywords. And let's say, I just started a pet delivery business, right? We actually have a client that does exactly that we're building a website for. He takes people's pets from place to place, like they don't want them flying on a plane, or they can't fly on a plane, or whatever it is, and he'll transport that pet for a fee from one city to another. So if we say pet delivery business, right, or pet delivery service, right, and get results, then we can look down here and see, pet delivery service is 1,000 searches a month. The year-over-year change is minus 12%. Means there's less people searching for it than last year. Competition is medium, so on and so forth. So pet transportation services is another keyword, and that one is searched for 8,000 times a month. So now if you have this business, you have a complicated decision. Should I target pet transportation or pet delivery? Now, it may very well be that you can rank for both. That's the amazing thing. So if I go over here and I say, okay, we're going to close that. Tends to get a little messy here, so I'm going to close some of these windows. I didn't mean to close Google AdWords though, so I'm going to go back to my history here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to type in pet delivery service. I keep misspelling, but there we go. And we're going to pick Happy Tails Travel. And we're going to take that URL, open it up in Ahrefs Site Explorer, paste that in there, and let's see what keywords they rank for. This is part of keyword research. You have to look at least the top 10 competitors and see what keywords they're actually ranking for. That'll tell you a lot more in most cases than any keyword tool. They're ranking for pet transportation services. What did I search for? I searched for pet delivery service, right? But they're ranking for pet transportation services, pet transport service, and this is their ranking, by the way. They're ranking 16.3 for that one. They're ranking 22 for that one. They're ranking, this one page is ranking for 1,912 keywords. So they're doing very well, even though they don't have, they're not all #1 or first page. If I click on position over here, I can see how many, you can see these are all their #1 rankings. So that's 50. That means they have 50 #1 rankings. So they're killing it. They've been doing this a while. Transport a dog, pet flight service, pet postage, ship your dog, cat movers. These all add up. And you can bet that this is a multi-million-dollar business here, Happy Tails Travel. So going back to the slide show over here, and it looks like I lost Gamma. Typed it in the wrong field here. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Okay. Present. Interview. So I have my notes. Okay. Next, you have paid tools. So this is Ahref. It's also another keyword research tool. There are dozens, maybe hundreds of them. Another one that I really like that I have here, you can see grayed out because I have it turned off right now, is Keywords Everywhere. I highly recommend this one because you get some free credits with this. Again, the reason that you want to use more than one tool is you'll get conflicting data. Like Google Keyword Planner will say, there's 500 searches a month. And Ahrefs will say, no, there's 20 searches a month. And then Keywords Everywhere will say, well, there's 250 a month. It's like, well, which one is right? You don't know. Nobody knows. The data is outdated the minute you're looking at it because search behavior changes so rapidly. So the best thing to do is use 2 or 3 tools and then average it out. So if I type over here and I type, let's say house painter near me. Near me is very popular, by the way. And I scroll down here. Okay, so we have all Los Angeles Painting Company is ranking #1 after the 2 Yelps. But over here is what Keywords Everywhere does. So if I have that tool off, you won't see this over here, but it does all kinds of cool stuff. But what we're looking at here are some related keywords. Interior paint near me, external painters near me, residential painters, and so on and so forth. So you're going to get some more search volume information there. They don't show you competition. Instead, they show you the cost per click. The higher the cost per click, the more competitive it is. Home painting service, $10 a click if you're advertising for that. Adds up fast. Whereas house painting works 40 cents. Local painting contractors, 720 searches a month, $7.32 a month, right? So if you can only afford one tool, use Google Keyword Planner, but it's best to use 2 or 3. Again, your keyword research is too important to guess on. You want to be absolutely certain you're targeting the right keywords. Otherwise, you can pour hours, months, a lot of money and months or years into targeting a keyword and never get any business. So super important to make sure you are targeting the right keywords. Do that keyword research. Okay, now we're going to get into just a few more slides here, guys. And then we're going to really get into it with some real world examples and look at your sites and give you some advice on those. I think that's the best way to learn, is just to really dig in and look at what other websites are doing right, what they're doing wrong, how they can be improved, and so forth. Okay, title tags and headers. Now, there's something I call, and I used to call it the golden dozen, but there's like 12 main on-page factors that almost nobody gets right, except in the most competitive markets. And they're very easy to do for the most part, especially with AI now and tools like Keywords Everywhere. And, just reviewing your competitors. And I'm going to list those all off here. They are your title tags, your headers, your content, your images, your internal links, your alt tags, and that adds up to about a dozen. And we're going to show you what that show you that on a website in a second. But real quick, your title tag is, you only get 1 per page. You can have as many headers as you want, but your title tag, you only get 1. And meta description is another one we're going to talk about. It's not technically an SEO factor, but it is a CRO factor, and it's part of SEO. So your title tag and header, H1 header, are you should only have 1 H1 header, by the way, and you can have as many as you want, H2 through H6. I'll show you what these are. Just hang with me here because we're almost done. So your title tag and H1 header are almost inarguably the most important part of your SEO. 1 second here. Okay, and then your content optimization, there we go, means writing clear, relevant, and valuable content that directly addresses what users are searching for. It's about matching search intent, why they're Googling that topic in the first place. Then we have image optimization. Search engines can't see images the way we do, so you have to use descriptive alt text. I'll show you what that is in a second. It's not that hard, guys. We're only talking about a dozen things, right? And if you can master these dozen things, do your keyword research, and then master them and deploy them into these dozen places, about 75% of your SEO will be done. If you do it well, and sometimes that's all you need. Like, this is all very real. Like, anybody, like if you decided, look, I want to start a pottery business, and there's no pottery businesses in my town, or there is a bunch of them, but they have terrible websites. You can, within the course of 6 months even, you can move in and take over and get almost all the new customers patronizing your pottery business. Just an example, right? Okay, and then finally, internal linking. Those are links from one page to another. These are really important, and we're going to go through all of those, okay? Well, let me go back to your title tags, headers, and all of this. So we're going to, again, use a real-world example, and we're going to say landscaping Los Angeles, or Santa Monica, let's say. Landscaping Santa Monica. And we're going to look, we're going to scroll past now. We see, what do we see here? Ads, another ad, then finally the 3-pack. And then we're going to see directory, Yelp, and then the very first business here, the very first organic listing. Now, why am I not clicking on the website over here? I will, but this is a different algorithm. It's not necessarily as important to optimize your website for the local as it is for organic, although it is also very important. So, but I want to show you why this page is number one. Now, a lot of times we look and it's inexplicable. They have terrible SEO, but we're going to see, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is open up my trusty SEO Pro extension, and I'm going to look at their title tag. Now, this is super easy to change, whether you're doing Wix as your platform, or Squarespace, or Shopify, or WordPress, or whatever. It's really easy to have an optimized title tag. So what are they saying? Number one, landscape and hardscape design, Santa Monica, California. So I typed in landscaping service Santa Monica. So they have landscape, they don't have service, but they do have Santa Monica, right? So this is really not a very good title tag necessarily. It's not, maybe not perfect, although it's decent. And then the second thing here, your meta description. What are these two things? Like, why are they important? Well, number one, the title tag is what shows up in the tab up here, but not just that. If we go back here, it's also what shows up right here, which is the first thing people see. That's why your title tag is so important. It serves multiple functions, but most importantly, it's the first thing that Google looks at on your page, besides perhaps the actual URL of the page, which is also important, right? So the URL here has Santa Monica in it, right? So that's good, because that's what I typed. I wanted something in Santa Monica. So going back here, your meta description right here: award-winning landscape, hardscape, and design build service. We create beautiful and functional outdoor living spaces in Santa Monica, right? So I'm going to click here, go back, and see right here. Look at this. Google actually rewrote their meta description. So that's not what their meta description is at all. Google will do that. They will rewrite your meta description, and they'll rewrite your title tag, oftentimes because it's not well optimized, and they're trying to help you, quote unquote, right? So that's your title tag, that's your meta description. And then if we go over here to your headings, then we can look for the H1 tag, and here we go. Landscape and hardscape design in Santa Monica, California. They made a coding error, and they have two H1s, and they're different. You don't ever want to do this. This will disqualify you from ranking on Bing, by the way. Google doesn't care that much, if at all, but Bing cares. If they consider this a technical error, and it is. You only want one H tag ever on a page. Now, it's really hard. You'd have to be really, really good or really bad at coding to accidentally make two title tags. I have seen it, but it has to be done in the code. But it's super easy to make more than one H1 tag, so you got to be careful about that. You only want one H1 tag, and here is the trick. Once you have the keyword you're targeting, if say on this page it's landscaping service Santa Monica, you want to say very first thing, landscaping service Santa Monica. And you want to say here also landscaping service Santa Monica. And in your H1 tag, you also want to say landscaping service Santa Monica. Now, every single character counts. They're lucky they're ranking for this. Now, chances are they're ranking not just because their competitors are even more poorly optimized and made more mistakes than them. Or they've been around a lot longer and they have more reviews and more backlinks and so on and so forth. But I'm telling you right now, remember this, and you're going to get a course replay later, by the way. You're going to be able to watch this over, transcript, everything. But do your keyword research, put your keyword in your URL, put it in your title tag, put it in your meta description, and put it in your H1 tag. If you do that, you will be better than probably 50% or 75% of all your competitors right off the bat. This is something that has worked for years and still works today. Why? I mean, think about it. You know, try to pretend you're a user. I just typed in landscaping Santa Monica, right? I'm sorry, it wasn't landscaping service, forgive me. But they have landscape, right? And they threw in this hardscape design. Now, they may or may not be related, but we're not going to get into that right now. But, you know, if I type in landscaping Santa Monica and they say #1 in landscape and hardscape design, and then they talk about landscape here, you know, Google wants it to be relevant to what people are searching for. And that's another reason they will change the meta description. But again, we're not going to get too much into that. Now, we're going to go back to the page here and talk about the rest of the factors. Remember, we talked about the 12. So we're going to go over here. Oops. We're going to go to, so #1 was your URL. #2 is your title tag. #3 is your meta description. #4 is your H1. You want your exact match keyword to be in all 4 of those. Now, it doesn't have to only be that keyword. You can say the exact match, and you want it to be in the very beginning too, right? It doesn't have to, not in the meta description necessarily, but as close to the beginning as possible with the meta description, and it wouldn't hurt to have it in the beginning. So you want to have that in all 4 places. And then the next are your other headings. Now there's 6 types of H tags, H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you can have as many H2, H3, H4, H5, H6s. And what you want to do with these H2 through H6s is structure them in a hierarchy, right? So if we go back over here to they have 2 H1s, and that's why it's highlighted red, because that's 1 too many. They have 26 H2s, 15 H3s, 8 H4s, and 9 H5s. This is likely the reason they are ranking #1, because they're doing a good job, better than their competitors, of having related keywords in the H tags. Permeable pavers, that's related to landscaping, right? Let's see, design is related to landscaping. Estimate, you know, is related to landscaping. Certifications, low voltage lighting, artificial turf, structures and hardscaping, irrigation, plant material. These are all related to landscaping. So that's what we're doing here, is we're adding related keywords to the H tags. And you can, guys, it's super easy. If we go to ChatGPT and say, I'm making a page on landscaping services in Santa Monica, I would like you to suggest my title tag, meta description, H1 tag, URL, and let's say 10 H2 tags. And again, if you put an H2 tag, by the way, it has to have some content below it. You don't just throw an H tag. If we look up here, we can see, right, what their H tags are, and there's content usually following these things. Although, you know, it looks like they're doing some SEO trickery, because I can't see necessarily all there, but you can see some of their H tags are just this. Then you hover, and here's the content related to carpentry and metalwork, landscape and softscape, and then here's their content, right? So that's what the H tags are. The H tags are the title of the section, and then the content below it is what goes with it. Okay, we're going to go back here. 10 H2 tags, let's say 5 H3 tags, and 5 H4 tags. So this will give you the structure of a well-optimized site. Now, it's not the same as, doing keyword research and doing all this, but it's quick and dirty. And if you just have absolutely no money whatsoever, and you absolutely can't do the keyword research, then this will get you going in the right direction. And then what you do is you build out the page, and you have this as your H1 tag, and then you say a little bit about or maybe it's just the title of the page and you don't have any content below it. But here's your H2. This would be your second section. Your first H2 would be your second section, right? And then your H3 tags, these go after the H2 tag. So anytime you have an H3 tag, you want to have an H2 tag before it. So it seems complicated, but it's not. So H3 tags come after H2s, H4 tags come after H3s, and so on and so forth. Again, if we go to A21 dispensary, it'll give you a better example. Or what is the difference between sativa, indica, and hybrid, right? Let's see if we can find the A21. I don't know if we can find it that way. I'm going to turn off the keywords everywhere. It makes everything really complicated, and redo the search. But we'll just go here to this page. So see this right here? So that's going to be an H2 tag. This would be an H3 tag. This is also an H3 tag. So, and then back to H2, right? Another H2. These might be or might not be H2 or H3 tags. They could just be bullets with bold, right? So that's how you structure a page, whether it's a blog article or a service page, is you structure your H tags. And now we look at this over here, we can look at their headings, we can see health conditions, looks like, so there you go. So there's H2, what to look for, H3, and then another H2, and then another H2. So not everybody gets this right. Like sometimes the structures are off, or the tool reports them off. But I'm getting kind of into the weeds here, guys. But really, if we go back to the basics of what we were talking about here, it's real simple. Keyword in your URL, keyword in your title tag, exact keyword in your description, meta description, exact keyword in your H1 tag, and then related keywords in your H2 through H6. So let's count those. I said there was a dozen primary factors. URL, number 1, title tag, number 2, meta description, number 3, H1 tag, number 4, right? So then H2, number 5, H3, number 6, H4, number 7, H5, number 8, H6, number 9. What are the others? Okay, now the others, alt tags, right here. So what are alt tags? Well, these are the text that describe the images on a page that only Google generally and people with disabilities see. So if I go over to this page here and I hover over it, it doesn't tell me anything about that picture. But if I right click on it and say inspect, it'll tell me over here what this says, right, about that particular image. Or I can use the tool right here, and I can go over to images and look for that image on the page and see what it says. So I don't know, looks like there's this one here, hybrid cannabis sativa indica leaf. That's the alt tag right here. That's the alt tag. Now, is that a good alt tag? Maybe. Again, you have to do your keyword research, and you have to, build out the page and figure out what the related terms are for this. And again, AI is your best friend. So right here, and then you could say, well, it doesn't know what your images are. So here's the guideline for images. When you're making your alt tags, and I'll show you how to do this in the back of WordPress in a bit. When you're making your alt tags, describe it as if you were describing it to a blind person, because indeed, the tools that people with vision disabilities, that are blind or have trouble seeing, or maybe they're deaf, and they need a screen reader, they might use tools that can see these things and read them to them, or explain them with a text prompt. So that's why the alt tags are important, but they're an easy way to optimize your page. If we go over here again to this page and we say images, you can see they have 39 total images and 7 are missing alt. 32 of them are missing alt tags. So you can see this picture here has no alt tag. This is Healthline, one of the biggest companies in their industry in the world, and this is not disability friendly. There's no alt tag for these. And if they were to add the alt tags, they might be ranking for more keywords and higher for those other keywords that they're currently ranking for. So they're really missing a lot of potential SEO opportunities here. So your alt tags are really important. And again, here's a really cool thing you can do. I could say, look, I need an alt tag for this picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I'm going to go back over here to GPT, and I'm going to say, make me an SEO optimized alt tag for this image. Wait for it to upload. Go here, and it will. And they're usually really good. In fact, they're almost always better than you could do on your own and any of your competitors. So cannabis leaf on light green background representing marijuana plant and hemp culture. Okay, pretty good, right? If you don't like that, you can say, look, where's the little prompt here? Anyway, you could simply do it again. If you don't like that particular alt tag, you can just do it again. I don't know where my little tool went here. Anyway, there's a little tool that allows you to run it again automatically. So see, this time, green cannabis leaf on yellow background representing marijuana, hemp, and CBD industry, right? So see how the green cannabis leaf is the primary image, and then these are all the supporting things here, marijuana, hemp, and CBD. That's what you want to get in your alt tags, if you can. You want to get related terms in there. The more terms you put on your page that are related to your primary keyword, the better your rankings will be. Okay, and then another one is, and that was number 10. If we go over here to links, right? So this is going to show the internal links. This is going to show where they're linking to. Now, why are internal links important? Well, if we scroll down here, we could say, click on this increase link, and now it takes me to another article that is related to that particular part of the article. This is another link here. This is linking to a government site. So it's an external link. This is also linking to an external site, right? So those internal links help people navigate, and they increase time on your site. So if someone's reading this and they're like, oh, I want to know the laws in my state, and I click here, then that's going to be helpful to that user. So internal links help. They're just like backlinks. They're links from another site. So as you create more pages on your site, you want to go through and internally link them all. So for example, say you have a carpet cleaning service. So you build out your carpet cleaning service. Say you decide the keyword is carpet cleaning service. And I say that because we have a carpet cleaning service website, Naturally Green Cleaning. We have a few of them actually. And we go over here to service and we say, okay, carpet cleaning service. So down here, if we go down to the bottom of the page, we will have links to other services right here, right? So this is going to be carpet cleaning hill section, carpet cleaning. So these are all related to carpet cleaning, but they're different cities. So this is just one way that you can do it. You can link internally throughout the article, or you can put links down at the bottom. You can put them in a sidebar, so on and so forth. So generally speaking, the more internal links you have, the better, as long as they're relevant, right? So if he's linking from, carpet cleaning, like for example, right here, there's opportunities here that may not be capitalized on. For example, if he talks about rug cleaning, so we might say F3 rug. So we might say rugs, right here. and then we link that to his rug cleaning page. That's an internal link, and that helps with rankings, believe it or not. And then finally, your content, right? So what you want to do with respect to carpet cleaning, or sorry, it doesn't matter what it is you want to have that keyword you're targeting in the very first sentence, right? So right here we have the H1 carpet cleaning in Manhattan Beach, right? That's his target keyword. We have carpet cleaning service right here. Again, carpet cleaning service here. And then down here, let's see, that one, carpet cleaning systems and so forth. So you want to have, what you want to do is you want to kind of mix it up. So instead of just saying carpet cleaning service, say carpet cleaning services, carpet cleaning systems, carpet cleaning company, carpet cleaning whatever, you know, and you, again, you can ask AI to help you with that. So one thing we do all the time is say, give me some related terms to carpet cleaning service. Click go, and it will. And then you sprinkle these throughout your content. But generally speaking, this was just re-optimized, and it looks like there might have been a mistake. But generally speaking, what we want to see on the page is that keyword in the very first paragraph, and even better, in the very first sentence. When people, Google knows that when people see that keyword in the very first sentence, they're going to be more likely to say, hey, I'm on the right page, and continue to read. Whereas like if you meander for several paragraphs before talking about your carpet cleaning service, they might leave and say, hey, this page is not what I'm looking for. So those are the golden dozen. That's why they're really important. Title tags and headers, meta description, content, image optimization, internal linking, and so forth. Chris, how's everything going over there in the chat?
Going good. We got a couple questions about alt tags here, but let's see, answering here in the chat. We do have some websites stocked up to go through too.
Okay. Let's all right. We're going to get into just two more slides here. Technical. Sorry. You want to make sure your website's optimized for mobile. And one of the ways you can test that is simply, if you're on desktop, you can go to your mobile device and check different mobile devices. I highly recommend that. In Chrome, you can hit F12 and you can emulate any device you want that's listed here. These are all major devices. So I want to see how it looks on an iPad Air. I can, and so forth, right? So you want to make sure it's mobile optimized. You want to make sure it loads fast. How do you do that? Well, you can take a page and you can say Google page speed insights. Go here, enter your page, click analyze. Another one I like is GT metrics. These are free tools. You can paste that here and test now. And these will evaluate your site speed, right? It is debatable whether or not mobile optimization and page speed are SEO factors. A lot of people think they are. Some people think they aren't. But regardless, if your page doesn't look good on mobile and is slow, you're going to get a lot of people leaving your website very quickly. So it has to be assumed that it's an SEO factor. Definitely want your page to load in 3 seconds or less if you can. We talked about schema markup. This is complicated, and but there are tools that can help you do this. It is also debatable whether or not how much that works. It just depends on your industry and how it's done. I know people that spend 50 hours creating schema for one page in competitive markets. And basically schema is just code. So if we go over here to best non-toxic cookware, for example, and click on food and wine or food networks. Example, right here, it shows you the schema. It shows you what schema they have on the page. They have product schema, more product schema, article schema, and schema is just code. It looks like, code. It's like short code for search engines. It speaks more the language that search engines speak than HTML and so forth. So that's what schema is. And your URL structure. So notice here, if I go back to naturally green cleaning, if I click on fire damage cleanup, you can see here, it says fire damage cleanup. It doesn't say fire damage. It doesn't say cleanup. It says fire damage cleanup, right? You want these to match your menu items. And again, over here, fire damage cleanup. And again, fire damage cleanup in the title tag, fire damage cleanup in the H2 tag, right? And so on and so forth. And then right here, first sentence of the content, fire damage cleanup. Again, and then hopefully we have this optimized well. We go to images. That's their logo. Looks like we are missing the alt tags here. I have to get with Rawl. This is a new page. The alt tags on this have not been optimized yet, but everything else has. If you look at the H structure, 1H1, 12 H2s, 3 H3s, 4 H4s. That's it. Okay. All right. So I have to talk about this one last slide. Off-page SEO and backlinks. Backlinks are really important, right? They're like a vote of confidence for your website. What is a backlink? A backlink is any link from any other website besides yours. If a website is on one page of your website to another, it's an internal link. A backlink is an external link technically, but it's a backlink just going from them to you, right? So if we use our example here and we say, let's say custom banners, Manhattan, custom banners, Manhattan, and we're going to go down here to print banners, NYC. We're going to copy this here, and I'm going to close some of these windows that are getting a little, don't close that one, unruly. Paste this in right here, and we're going to see how many backlinks this website has. They have 204 backlinks from 63 referring domains. What does that mean? Well, backlinks are just a count of the actual links to their site. But you can have more than one link from a website. That's why referring domains is also counted. So the referring domains is just unique websites that are linking to them. So that one of these websites might have 10 links from different pages going, and that's why the count for backlinks is different from referring domains. If we click on referring domains, we can see they have one link from Pinterest. So what does that say? This is basically saying their most powerful link is from Pinterest. Well, guess what? Any company can go out and create a Pinterest page and get a backlink from Pinterest. That's a link building method. In fact, that's a powerful link building method. When you're starting off your business, go out and create your, Yellow Pages profile, create your Yelp profile, create your, Super Pages profile, create your Yext profile, MapQuest profile, create your Pinterest profile, Instagram, TikTok. Like, they all have business profiles that are free to set up and, generally speaking, allow you to put in a link to your website. So really cool stuff. Proven Expert, they have 2 links from, and so on and so forth. They have Go Local 247, they have 7 links from. They have 9 links from Yellow.place. By the way, guys, you can see something here if you haven't put 2 to 2, put 2 and 2 together, sorry. This is a great way to do link building, is look at your competitors and see where they're getting links. A lot of times, all it takes, like Yellow.place, like, they have a link from Yellow.place, Yellow.place. Let's see what happens when I go there. And you type it in, and it is certainly Yellow Place. and it says log in here. Well, I don't have a login, so that probably lets me, oh, look at that. Submit your free listing. And that right there, you know, it's a good link to have because it shows you the DR. What's the DR? The domain rating shows the strength of a domain's backlink profile compared to others in the database on a 100-point scale. It's essentially a less granular version of, ignore that. So it's ranking these backlinks by how powerful they are, in order of how powerful they are. So if I were you and I was starting a business or trying to boost an existing business, I would go find all your competitors, pop them into Ahrefs or another tool that tracks backlinks like SEMrush, and there's others. Just ask AI or Google it, find one that works for you, and then look at all your competitors' backlinks. You can actually export this here, and if you want to delegate that to a VA or an SEO company or something like that, you know, you can do that, or you can do it yourself, and then go through every single one and try to get a backlink from where your competitors have the backlinks. The backlinks are less important than they used to be, but they're still important. And you know, you want to be careful. Make sure you know, if you see a backlink from like an adult website, cannabis website, a gambling website, you know, anything like that, you don't want to build that link. Ignore those. You want high quality backlinks from reputable sites. And generally speaking, that's all you're going to see here. Okay, so going back over here real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. At the top of the pyramid, we have high authority backlinks. These are links from reputable, relevant websites in your industry. Think of them like votes of confidence. The more trusted a site that links to you, the more authority your site earns in Google's eyes. In the middle, you have your social media presence. Social signals aren't a direct ranking factor, but having active profiles that share your content helps build awareness, drive traffic, and even attract natural backlinks. And at the base, you have business directories. These include platforms like we just saw, Yellow.place, Yelp, your Google business profile, and industries and any industry-specific directories. It's essential to keep your NAP, name, address, and phone number consistent across all the listings. What does that mean? Well, let's go over here to, let's see, who do I want to go? Harmony Insurance Services, Los Angeles. Another one of our clients. So if we look at their Google business profile, you can see that we manage this here. And this is their address here. So whatever your address is on your Google business profile, that's what you want it to be everywhere. Exactly the same. You don't want it to say unit 7 on one and, you know, number 7 on another, right? You want it to be exactly the same. By the way, it's probably helpful if we look at this Google business profile. But real quick, so that's business directories. And NAP is name, address, and phone. And it's also NAPEW, name, address, phone, email, and website. You want that information to be consistent. The more consistent your information is everywhere on the internet, Google sees it. They're crawlers, they're spiders, they're bots, they see it all. The more together your business looks, the more organized your business looks, the more trusted your business looks. Real quick, let's look at a Google business profile here. I'm going to click on this and say manage the business profile, right? And I can click on that here. And if you don't have a Google business profile, by the way, that's the very first thing you're going to want to do for your business. And if you do have one, you want to optimize it. So, and the way you do that is once you sign up, you and just search Google if you don't know how. You want to, you know, make sure your business name is the way you want it to be, consistent with what it says on your website, if possible. You want to pick your business categories. You want to write this description. They only allow 750 characters, so you want to use, again, the keywords. Again, this is another reason you want to do keyword research, because if you're building out your Yellow Pages profile, your MapQuest, your Yelp, your, you know, Yellow.place, your all that, it really helps if you consistently use the same keywords that you use on your website. That way Google's like, oh, okay, we really understand that this company is really does this one thing, right? Whether it's landscaping services or plumbing or mortgage or law or whatever it is. And this all starts on your website and your Google business profile. Do those two first, right? Optimize your website and your Google business profile. Make sure your phone number is correct. You can add your website here. You can add your social profiles, your hours, special hours, and all kinds of other stuff. So get in there and optimize that. And then over time, you can go through here and you can check and see how things are doing. You can say, well, how was May, right? And you can click May and say, okay, it was down a little bit as far as business profile interactions. The calls were down. The reason is for this particular business, open enrollment is only November through the end of January. So they have a very short window. So they're always going to be down February through October, right? So in other cases, like wash bins, for example, if we click on their performance, they're very seasonal and just the opposite. They pick up around springtime and then completely die off right after October. So if we were to look here and look at their, let's say, January 2025, it might be slower. See, it's slower because there's just not much going on. But if we look at May, you can see here up 90% versus May 2024. Same thing with calls. Well, no, same for calls. Website clicks up 81%. Okay. All right, let's get into the websites though. I want to, Chris, do you have a list of people who submitted their websites?
Just pasted it into the chat.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so we have the very first one here is Allen Human Resources Consulting.
Might be worthwhile to just make sure these people are still here. We did lose a couple. I just don't want to avoid somebody that's still here in the favor of somebody that left.
Sure.
I'm still here with the Allen HRC. I'm Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi there. Thank you.
No, I'm with the Movement and Medicine.
Okay, so Allen Human Resources Consulting, transforming culture and leader impact. Expert human resources and organizational development consulting and coaching services to drive employee engagement and business success. About our services, okay. Let's look at your SEO. So the first thing I noticed when we look at the SEO here is the title tag is, let me know if you have any questions. So somehow this chat bot has hijacked the title tag. Not good. Not good. So if you're targeting, let's assume you did your keyword research and you're targeting human resources consulting, then what you want to put is human resources consulting and then hyphen Allen Human Resources Consulting, or just Allen Human Resources Consulting. Home pages are a little different.
I don't see how to change it. How do you change it?
I'll show you. So
okay.
So we're going to go in. Let's go here to Platon Graphics.
You know what's funny about what you just saw is while you were talking earlier, I went in and did what you just did. And H1 was listed 2 times and it was exactly the same thing, the Allen HR Consulting. As you were talking, I did a chat to myself to see if it was working.
Yeah.
And then it elevated itself to H1.
Weird. Yeah, that's weird. Are you on WordPress?
Yeah, I don't know.
Huh.
I did the website in Google Arrow.
Okay, so if you're not sure, you can go to builtwith.com and then you can paste.
I mean GoDaddy Arrow, sorry.
Oh, GoDaddy, yeah, so it might be the GoDaddy builder. Yeah, GoDaddy. So you're on the GoDaddy builder. So my advice would be to move this to WordPress as soon as you get a chance.
Okay.
But the GoDaddy builder is very limited. I know this company has a lot of potential. You know, I know this is a great business to be in. And if you can, get more visibility in customers, then one of the first things that you can do, if you're on a shoestring budget right now, then definitely, try to get it optimized on the GoDaddy builder.
Yeah.
But as soon as you can, move it to WordPress. So yeah, I can't give you an example on how to do it. But if you were on WordPress, I could show you on on the back end here. So it's super easy on WordPress. That's what we always recommend. It's the most universal platform. In my opinion, it's the most SEO friendly, although it really depends on the theme and all kinds of other things. But if I just logged in and I clicked edit page up here, then I could scroll down and there it is, SEO. Right now you need a plugin, generally speaking. It depends. There's different SEO plugins. So if I go here, I can see which plugin it's using. Let's say SEO Pro. Yoast is very popular. SEO Press is another one. It looks like this one is
certainly SEO Press. Yeah.
Yeah, it's using SEO Press. It's free, and there's a pro version, but you don't really need it. So if we go back here to the custom banners page, I just change the title tag right here to whatever I want. And then here, okay, scroll back down. And it's just easy to change it right there. And here's the meta description. And, if I wanted to change some of the images, I would go to media and then the media library, click on one of the images here and see where it says alternative text. That's alt tag, same thing. I can also add a description, a caption, the title of the image. So there's even more SEO options than the alt tag even. And Google reads them all, I'm sure of it. So that's how you do that. Okay, so going back here, we're targeting human resources consulting. Now it depends on your services, right? So if your homepage is targeting human resources consulting, then you definitely don't want to have a service page also targeting human resources consulting. You want to have every page on your website needs to target a different keyword, right? A different primary keyword, like we talked about. If you don't, what happens is they end up what's called cannibalizing, which means that they compete. Your two pages are competing against each other, and it's often not an ideal situation. So as long as you're not targeting human resources consulting on any of these, you're good to go. But we're going to just, for the sake of time, we're going to assume human resources consulting. So you're going to want to put, on a homepage, you're going to want to go over here and put Alan Human Resources Consulting. And then right here, the meta description is a little bit different, right? The meta description, some people say it's an SEO factor, most don't. I tend to think that it is, although it's never been proven, but it's a really powerful conversion factor because it shows up in the search results, right? So if we type in, get that here, close that. Let's see if Google can find your page if I specifically type for the company name. And there it is. So you're showing up in Google when I type the name. But see how right here, Alan HR Consulting provides index. So here's the thing. We're touching a little bit on the conversion optimization aspect of this. What you want your meta description to be is sales copy. You don't want it to talk about your business. You want to talk about what the benefit is of working with, what they get, right? So I can go over here again to AI, and I can say, make me a 160 character meta description, and then see what it does. Let's just see what it does. It doesn't always do. See, okay, so I'm gonna say that is too company centric. Please make it more benefit. And paste that in there. There we go. This is a meta description.
Okay.
Boost team performance, stay compliant, and simplify HR with expert strategies tailored to your business. Trusted support from Allen Human Resources Consulting. Why is this great? Because it doesn't talk about you until the end. That's what makes a good sales copy. That's what makes a good meta description. Is this is what they get. This is what they're getting, right? That's what you want your meta description to be.
Okay.
So you would be hard pressed to make a better one than that. That's beautiful, you know. So sometimes you got to play with it a little bit, but again, you know, it's, you know, be benefit oriented whenever you can. And then we're going to go back over here to your
also, if you take a look at the page you were on before you went back to the home page, the URL was just a string of gibberish. The post names should all be set to have keywords in them as well, particularly describing the page.
Really good observation, Chris. And this again is like, I think the and I'm sorry to tell you this, but the GoDaddy builder is the absolute worst builder of all in the world. Like literally, like you could pick any other, right, Chris? I mean,
Seriously? Oh
just
my
about,
God.
yeah.
It's so easy too.
Yeah, GoDaddy's fine for like hosting your website and your email, but for actual, hosting your domain, but not hosting your website. The difference is, you know, the domain is just, you know, alanhrc.com. GoDaddy's fine for that. Any company is fine for that.
They're terrible.
Yeah, but but for the website builder, see, they did you improper here because nobody's going to search for that.
No.
It's confusing to people, and Chris is right. So let's click on.
Maybe I need to figure out how to change that on the back end, I guess.
Yeah, well, if you can, yeah.
I can. I may not be able to. Okay. What are better website builders then?
WordPress. Just WordPress. Just WordPress. Yeah, WordPress is free. Literally, it's totally free. You can buy a theme. So you can go right here, go like themeforest.com, for example. There's others. I misspelled it, didn't I? Theme forest. I can have spelling problems today, apparently. And I could say human resources WordPress theme, right? And then click search, and you'll find all kinds of different little themes here. And look, it's $49, one-time payment. You can even do what's called, look, this one's $39, this one's $29.
And
you
then what? You transfer it to GoDaddy for hosting?
Exactly. You tell GoDaddy, look, I don't want to use the GoDaddy builder. I want to use this I want to use WordPress, or better yet, switch to WPX.net. They're very inexpensive, and they're the best SEO friendly hosting. You can see right here, and it's super inexpensive. And then once you find a theme you like, click on Live Preview, and you can actually use the website in real time and say, "Oh, this is great!" And there's 3 different demos, and then you can click on the demo that you want, that you like, and then you get all of them when you buy the theme, by the way. And this is what the website will look like. And then all you do is go through and look at it. It has all kinds of awesome information here, you know, and you go through and just customize everything just the way that I showed you.
I appreciate that. I don't want to take up all the time, but I appreciate it.
Yeah. So no, that's okay. That's what we're doing here today. I appreciate your thoughtfulness. So, okay, so we're going to go back over here. Yeah, so you're kind of strapped here. Going over to your headings, you've got a lot of repetition here, and it's just the builder is just terrible. It's almost criminal that they could do something like this. It's also criminal that website designers don't know anything about SEO in 99.9% of cases, and they'll build you a website that might look good but will never rank. That we see that all the time too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move on here to. You're welcome, Chris. Where was that list? I thought you. Oh, there it is. Okay, movementandmedicine.co.uk. So movement and medicine. We're going to spend a few minutes. Yeah.
So this is my wife. This is my first ever attempt at creating a website, and since this, I'm doing another version of it. I'm trying to understand why it's not ranking, and just to understand. Yeah, obviously, I'm an absolute beginner.
Oh, that's okay. Yep, I remember I designed my first website in 1999, and I had no idea what I was doing.
It was just a lot of dancing babies.
So okay. So we're going to go over here. The homepage is always different, by the way. Like generally speaking, you don't target keywords on the homepage. Now, with that human resources website, it could work. It just depends. But what the homepage is serves three main purposes. Number one, navigate traffic, both through the menu and through a visual aspect here. So what you want is, all of these things here, because some people are just go straight to the menu. Other people scroll. So what you want to do is repeat this menu with sections that say the same thing, so that you're navigating traffic. That's the number one job of a homepage. Number two job of a homepage is to establish your brand and talk about who you are, what you do, what you stand for, and so on and so forth, right? And you're doing that when you recreate the menu and in sections of the page, right? And number three, it's to tell your story. That's really what it's about. What you're trying to rank a homepage for is your brand. That's it. So movement and medicine, right? If that's your company name, that's what you want to put in your tag here. And then you got that right. Movement and medicine, clinical Pilates in Norwich. That's good, right? That's good. As long as you don't also have a clinical Pilates page right here that you're targeting clinical Pilates, and you do, right? So you're targeting clinical Pilates and somatic movement, and then you're also targeting it. This one is saying movement and medicine, clinical Pilates. So be careful about that. I would just put movement and medicine, and then maybe Norwich, and that's it. Yeah, and that's it. And then for your service pages, these are the ones you want to optimize for a specific keyword. So if this is optimized for clinical Pilates, well, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that there's keyword volume for that. So you want to go over here and say clinical Pilates, and I could just as easily do this in GKP, but this one's a little faster. And then you have somatic movement, right? So we're going to do a quick search. And you can see somatic movement is extremely competitive, but clinical Pilates, this one's saying is branded, which is interesting. What's that? It means that there's a company out there called Clinical Pilates, right? Now, I don't know if this is different for the UK, and sometimes they're just wrong. It might be just wrong, so might need to ignore that. But so the first thing you want to do is find out what the right keyword is for that page. I'm going to close this. Okay, and that. Okay, so you want to. Here's another awesome tip, guys. Never target two totally different keywords. So clinical Pilates and somatic movement are likely totally different keywords. So you want to have one page for clinical Pilates and one for somatic movement. They're probably, like I said, totally different keywords. It's better to have them that way anyway,
What if it's like interrelated? I mean, those two things are like sort of interrelated topics.
They could be interrelated, or they could be opposing. You won't know until you do the keyword research. So if we go here to GKP and say, and what was the other one? Somatic movement.
Mm-hmm.
So somatic movement, 2,400 searches a month, and I don't even see clinical Pilates here, interestingly.
It's a very niche thing.
Yeah. So we might say let's say what keywords are for Pilates, right? Obviously that's going to be an extremely competitive keyword. We can also look here at just Pilates. Super hard, right? 416,000 searches, but clinical Pilates doesn't have as much. So if we scroll down here, we've got 162,000 keywords to search from. So to search through rather. So you might want to go through and really look and find out what a good keyword is. And of course you have to take into consideration too the business, right? Maybe the company only, you know, like really only does clinical Pilates. So, you know, you might have to work within the constraints of what the business does. But in most cases, you want to make sure that you break apart keywords into separate pages, even a lot of times if they're interrelated. Like, for example, you would think rug cleaning and carpet cleaning are related, right? That the rug's just a carpet that's not, you know, stapled to the ground. But rug cleaning is a completely different keyword. So I see that sometimes too, like rug and carpet cleaning on carpet cleaning websites. And then Google's confused and doesn't know what to rank you for. So that's what you want to be careful of. So let's really quick assume you're, you know, targeting clinical Pilates on this page. You're going to want clinical Pilates, and then you're going to want in the title tag clinical Pilates, then this pipe symbol movement and medicine. That's fine, or hyphen movement and medicine. And then here again, you know, as the previous example, ask AI to help you write a good meta description that's benefit oriented, right? Sometimes too, like if I don't know anything about clinical Pilates, and one of the things that we have the responsibility of doing when a company hires us to do keyword research and do their SEO is understanding their market, and the keyword research helps us get up to speed now and understand like what clinical Pilates even is. Like I don't know what the difference is between now a quick AI search, you know, will tell me, I'm sure. But anyway, the reason I bring that up is, you know, you might change what the meta description is if you're targeting, like, say, insurance companies, or you're only targeting like Fortune 500 companies or sports teams or whatever is related to the clinical Pilates, right? Maybe you're only doing, you know, therapy for injuries or whatever it is, right? That sounds like, yeah. So then, you know, you want to adjust the meta description to be benefit oriented towards whoever your ideal customer is. That's another great thing you can do with websites is ask it to create an ideal customer profile. So for example, I can take this over here and I can say, okay, you know, make me an ICP based on this page. And it's going to review that page and hopefully create. Now, it might not be the best ICP in the world, but it's creating your ICP here. Oh, wow. And now you have an ideal customer profile that that will dictate, along with your keyword research, how to speak to your customer. So the ICP helps you craft your content that people read, and the keyword research helps you optimize your website that Google reads, right? Okay. So going back here, you know, what is clinical Pilates? If you're explaining to people, this might be better as a blog article. But if
I mean, all the new versions completely changed what this is. I would just say trying to understand where you put your certain tags, and what and how that's basically how it ranks. So you've explained a really lot, which has been really helpful.
Yeah. So here, a good example here is how you have this page structured. If we look at the structure here, you're missing a lot of H tags. Really easy to fix, even on this page. So for example, this could be an H2.
Yep.
This could be an H2. This could be an H2. And already you're more SEO optimized by doing that. Google, the crazy thing about H2s is it's Google's initial run when they first crawl your page, they're probably only looking at your H tags. Like, is this page structured well? And then if they decide to rank you, another bot that's specific to content will come and read your content. Read, when I say read, it's just doing math. But, so yeah, that's what I would do. And you can actually make this page better if this is, you know, I would love to see your future page, by the way. Shoot it over to me.
I'm still developing it on Wix. So I've changed all the color schemes and it's made the font bigger, and it's not live yet. So I'm still, I moved around things like, rather than having an introduction, it's actually got what the services and things are on the first page. And she's trying to she's trying to sort of start a business. She's like a senior nurse, but she's also a clinical Pilates teacher.
Is she
trying to get medicine into this?
Is she business to consumer or business to business?
Consumer.
Okay. So here's the thing. When you structure, now let's talk about conversion optimization. Remember, to succeed online, get found, convert people to find you. So we've talked a lot about getting found in the golden 12, right? The URL, title tag, meta description, H1, first sentence of the content, all the rest of your H tags, your alt tag, and your internal links, right? And then your backlinks, which is external, right? But how do you convert them once they find you? Well, when someone lands on a page, there's something that I like to optimize for, which is the 5-second test. And the 5-second test basically says you have to answer in 5 seconds 3 questions. Where am I? What can I do here? Why should I do it? Right? So on this page right here, it reads more like a blog article, right? Yeah. No call to action. There's nothing to do except learn, right? But where am I? Movement and Pilates. You've got this, your logo and your business name right here at the top. What can I do here? I don't know. I guess read. And why should I do it? I don't have any reason to do this. I don't want to learn what clinical Pilates is. I want to hire somebody to do it for me. So I'm going to go to another company who I can sign up and do business with, right? Now let's look over here again, like at this. I like this. We just recently did it. Where am I? Plate and graphics. I don't know why this is loading. Oh, it's because I'm logged in. Let's see if that gets us where we want. Okay, where am I? Plate and digital graphics. What can I do here? Get a free estimate. Why should I do it? Well, Diane Bush from Guess Inc. is telling you. We chose Plate and graphics because their quality, service, and ability to meet deadlines. They always make guests look good, right? Another example would be, this is a new one that we're working on now that's not quite live. Where am I? So what's your offer is what I'm getting at. Like, what are you offering? Sign up now and get your first Pilates for free or get $20 off. Make an offer, wheel and deal, It's not always appropriate, especially like B2B, right? You don't necessarily want to do that. But B2C, you can. And like this one here, where am I? Wash bins. What can I do here? I can get clean trash bins, get started. Why should I do it? Guaranteed service the day after trash pickup, or it's free. That's an offer. There's also why you should do it. Well, because Martin Summerman says you can do it. The reason that we have these reviews is because people trust what a complete stranger says about your business more than what you say. And the reason is they're unbiased in most cases. Like, they're not trying to sell you anything. They're just telling you what their experience is, whether sometimes they're crazy lunatics, right? Sometimes they're not. But either way, any business is always going to say, we're the best, we're number one, sign up with us now. Of course, that's what they want. But that's not how you convert people. How you convert people is by just that example I showed you, writing the meta description, is you talk about what they get. Not how good you are, but what they get when they do business with you. So when you look at the structure of this page, every section is organized in a specific order to trigger signals in the viewer's brain that gets them to reach the overwhelming conclusion that this is the only business to do business with. Why? They have an only factor. They're SoCal's fastest trash bin cleaning. They're the only company that offers a guaranteed service the day after trash pickup, or it's free. That's an offer. That's a powerful offer. Free, guaranteed, right? That's what you get. So that's what you want to model, is you want to, like, the very top of your page, don't even structure the bottom of your page, everything else, until you've nailed this top section. Till you pass that 5-second test. Where am I? What can I do here? And why should I do it? And almost nobody gets this right. It doesn't matter. If I type in, best, let's say, home renovations in Dallas, Texas, right? Almost without exception, you're not going to see examples of what I just showed you. So here's number one. This is supposed to be the number one company. Imagine your home improved. Like, what the hell is that? Like, full service remodeling contractor. Okay, yeah, okay, that's what I want. I get it. If your current home is leaving you dissatisfied, let DFW Improved expertly remodel your space. You're telling me what to do. Let us do it. They're commanding me what to do into a luxurious dream home you've always desired with unmatched quality and precision. According to who? See, they're claiming they have the best quality and precision in ever. What it can't be proven. They're just saying it to get your business. So you can't make these unsubstantiated claims and expect to have a high conversion rate. By the way, your conversion rate is the percentage of people that come to your website that end up doing business with you. And I'll tell you now, the average conversion rate for all businesses combined is about 2%. In a lot of business industries, it's 1% or 0.5%. And that's because of this. It's this nonsense of, where am I? DFW. What can I do or get a free estimate? Why should I do it? There's no why should I do it. At least they have a, get a free estimate call to action or schedule a visit, right? But anyway, I digress. We need to move on to the next example here. Hippo Energy, I think.
Yes, Hippo Technologies, Hippo Energy.
Okay. So this is, it looks like,
yeah, we sell power banks.
Power banks. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it looks a little disjointed with this slideshow over here. And I really I feel like this moves very quickly and I can't figure out what's going on. So we're getting into the conversion aspect of it first because I'm having trouble figuring out what the website does. So be careful about this. I don't like sliders. Don't use sliders. Like no matter how fast they move, they're either too fast or too slow for some people. So just pick one and take the other two if they're important and put them in another section. We're going to go down and we're going to look at one of your product pages. I clicked on buy now, but nothing's happening. Shop now. Okay, let's go to shop now. All right. So this is good. This is a product, right? We're going to look at this one right here. This is a 20 milliamp hour power bank. So that's going to be the keyword, right? You want to rank if someone types in 20,000 milliamp hour power bank, right? Okay. So we go over here and we say Hippo 20 power bank, Hippo Technologies. Great. And then right here, the Hippo J5 is power bank is equipped. So now you're getting into the specifics here, right? But you're really not selling this, right? So what I would do is I would again go to Trusty AI and say, make this meta tag 160 characters because that's about the limit. It's actually 165, but you want to be careful about making them too long because they get cut off. Benefit oriented, right? So charges your devices faster, right? That's the benefit, right? All this other stuff, all these technical stuff, people don't care. Most people don't care, this right here, I mean, they might care about this stuff, but what I'm saying is charge your devices faster. That's the main benefit of this thing. It's fast charging. It's a powerful charger, right? So right off the bat, you could play with this more and make an even better one. But this right here is better than what you currently have for SEO and for CRO. And then you go to your H1 tag and it's this right here. That's good. You're targeting, I would say, like, unless they know the brand, I would get rid of the brand, right?
Okay.
In the beginning, because that waters down your H1 tag. What you want it to say is just 20,000 milliamp hour power bank. That's it. That's what you have here. I would also get rid of it here. You already have the Hippo Technologies at the end. This is what people will search for, right? So if I go up here and I type in, or if I put this in the Keyword Explorer, there's probably going to be some volume for that. There's 20 searches a month for that, and it's pretty competitive. So you might want to change that into, maybe that's 20 amp, power bank or something
So
like that.
you didn't copy correctly. Can you check?
Sorry, yeah,
you
sorry.
copied only.
You're right. I'm sorry. That's 20. That's 2,000. There we go. Look at that. 1,300 searches. Easy. It's ranked easy. 2 out of 100. So that's great. So if I click here on this terms match, now here's the other thing. Like if we type this in to Google and we find who's ranking the highest, you're up against some big boys here, but you can beat them.
Yeah.
Trust me, you can beat them. We've beaten Walmart, Amazon many times for different keywords. But you just have to be careful what you're targeting here. So anyway, if you find one of these and you search them in Ahrefs, you'll find what keywords they're ranking for, and then you can get those keywords on your page here. Because right now, there's not a whole lot of content on this page, right? So under the additional information, you could have way more information here. You have the reviews, that's fantastic. But what you need is more words on the page that describe what this is, right? So you could easily say over here, now based on that info, make me a 500-word additional information for my product page. Now, again, this is not like going to be perfect, but it's going tremendously, right? That's what you want on the site. Plus, like when someone lands on the page and they just barely see any information, it makes them like, well, I don't know. I don't know about this company. Who are they? It's not really wheeling dealing. It's like, it's not saying, hey, previous price, was 25,000 and now it's 20,500 or whatever, like the price crossed out, or, sale, like a lot of these things you can do to really maximize the number of sales when people land on the page. So now you've gone through and you have some additional information. You just proofread it and figure out if it applies, it's accurate, and get that on your page. A lot of times that's what people are looking for. It's like, or what SEO is making sure you have enough keywords and relevant information on your page for Google to understand what you're selling. Otherwise, you just won't ever rank the page. And by the way, there are ways to get all this information in the code of the page and without affecting the way the page itself looks if you don't want to do that. But yeah, my advice in this tab browsing here is to, or faceted navigation, or whatever you want to call it, is to get more additional information in there. And it's great. You have the related products. This is really good. And then as far as your headings go, this is where you're going to want to, so you have these headings of your related products, but you barely have any H tags. So when you add that content here, see, this is H2, right? H2, so on and so forth. You don't even have to have H3s or H4s necessarily for product pages. So that's what I would do. So yeah, and then as far as like conversion optimization, really sell this thing. You want people to feel like, there's got to be a compelling reason, like, hey, buy now and get a 2-year warranty, or buy one get one free, or whatever it is. All metal construction, won't get hot, doesn't get too hot. A guarantee of 5-year, or 10,000 charges, or whatever it is. Charge 2 high-powered devices simultaneously. Like, get all the benefits on there as bullet points here in this section here. So what we're talking about is, we're talking about SEO content down here, but what you want here, which can also be SEO content, is sales copy, right? All that stuff I was telling you, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, bullet
Yeah.
point, right? So that's what you want to do on that page. Okay, gotta move fast and move on to the next one. So this is Michelle Riano, graphic designer and visual strategist. So this is a personal brand page. I have a little bit of experience with that because I also have my own personal brand page that I wanted to share with you guys here at the end of the class. But here, what we have here, oops, sorry, go back over here. Thank you all, by the way, for giving me the opportunity to do this. It's very brave of you. A lot of people are too embarrassed to share their sites and learn, but that's how you learn, is by making mistakes. I still make lots of mistakes every single day. That's how I know I'm learning. So graphic designer and visual strategist. So you may be targeting graphic designer, which would be an extremely difficult keyword, right? So what I would do is, instead of just having, it's great that you have your, some of your work here. That's absolute must. You might want to have a portfolio page for sure. And then you're going to want to do some keyword research, like what are some of the most popular graphic design services that you offer. I know Chris, actually, why don't you take this one over? Because Chris actually ranks for things like logo design and things like that, because he does some graphic design work on the side. Don't you, Chris?
I do, yes.
You want to talk about this page?
Sure. Forgive me. I was answering something in the chat there. What's going on here?
Yeah. So we have Michelle Liriano, .com.
Alrighty. Let's take a look here. Alrighty. Taking a look at the title, we have graphic designer plus visual strategist, strategically elevating brand identity through innovative design solutions, with the meta description in quotes, strategically elevating brand identity through innovative design solutions. All of that means nothing to me at a glance. You want to really simplify that language, and it also screams AI when you use words like elevating and strategically like that. So that's often a sign of AI. When you use those very AI keywords, people tend to not necessarily trust what you're saying as much because it wasn't human written.
And they're going to trust it less and less over time. Elevate is one of the most abused AI words. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what I would do is try to think about what the customer is actually talking to you about, as opposed to speaking as a professional to your peers. Talk to your customers in the language that they use. And you can often find that kind of language in your customer reviews or your customer emails, or if you have conversations with customers, how do they talk about your graphic design? And it's almost certainly not going to be brand identity through innovative design. So kind of honing in on how your customers talk would make a big difference, because that's also going to be what they search for. When they go to Google, what are they searching for? It's going to be the same things they're talking about. So that's the first thing I would change. Also, you don't necessarily want to put quotation marks in your meta description. And at a 76 character meta description, you're leaving half of your meta description off the board. So you have a character count of about 150, 160 you can use for the standard meta description. And by using half of that, you're leaving out some of that sales message that you can get onto the Google results page for your customers to see before they even click on you. Then we're looking at the page itself, strategically elevating brand identity. That blends way too much into the background for me. And normally that wouldn't be a terrible thing, but as a graphic designer, that immediately puts me off, because if your text is hard to read on a graphic designer page, I'm losing trust. Let's see.
Yeah, your website has to look spectacular since you're in the visual business. And also real quick, I'd like to mention that graphic designer is an extremely difficult keyword to rank for. So you're going to want to localize most likely and target your local market. So, you know, graphic designer, let's see, I don't know where you're at. Where are you located?
Located in Boston.
Boston? Okay, so graphic designer Boston would be, look at that. So there's only 50 searches a month, but you know, there's a graphic designer Boston, and there could be some other related keywords that makes it add up, like Boston graphic designer, 10 a month, only 10 searches a month. But again, like, you know, that's where you need to start off with when you're first starting off, because you'll never rank for graphic designer. It's just too difficult. There's too many people that have been at it. So what I would do is, you know, focus on localizing your every service that you have. Go ahead, Chris.
Alrighty. Can you open up the SEO Pro
Yeah.
extension and go over to the headings? Okay, so another issue we have here is multiple H1 tags that are all completely unrelated. It looks like what's happening here is you kind of have this blog roll that you're using on the homepage, and each of those titles appears to be coming up as an H1. I would highly recommend moving to a homepage that is designed rather than pulling from your blog roll. This would give you the ability to kind of tailor what's on the page and speak to your customers, because it took me a minute even to realize what was going on there and what it is that you do. There's just no text on this page, on the homepage. So make your homepage, introduce yourself or your company, kind of humanize yourself a little bit, and really take the time to do some keyword research and make sure that your headings make sense. And you can have examples on the page for sure. That's great. It's a very visual industry. Keep these here. You can have a section dedicated to featured blogs, but I would move these to a blog or a portfolio types page and make your homepage more focused. Make it graphic designer in Boston, if that's the best way to go after you've done your research, and then just kind of expound on that, what your experience is, some trust signaling, you know, won this award, or, you know, we're 20 years in business, whatever it might be, that's going to help establish authority and trust. Also in the SEO Pro, I noticed something else. What was that? You have a couple empty H2s and an empty H3. And an H2 that just says posts navigation. A lot of this is saying to me that the theme you've chosen is not a wonderfully SEO optimized theme in general, just in the way that it handles things natively. I would consider, if this isn't a custom theme that you've built, if this is a WordPress theme that you've used, you can switch themes without losing content, and I would highly recommend that.
Yeah, and you're missing 54 of your 55 potential alt tags.
Yep.
Really important for a visual designer. I would also like to add, you know, you're Michelle Liriano, right? But who are you? Like, see, people will do business with you just because they like you, you know? I noticed that when I had a computer repair business, like, they didn't call my company PC Fixer, they called Robert, you know, I'm going to call Robert, you know? And, you know, with the internet and AI becoming less and less personalized, you know, your main opportunity is to work with people that know your face, right? So you have to be comfortable, you know, getting your face at least on the about page, if not, you know, also on the homepage. So I would, you know, definitely have a portfolio page. When I've hired graphic designers in the past, first thing I do is go to their portfolio. I want to see what they've done. And so if you have photography, fine, but also have portfolio, put your picture on the contact page too. You know, I would love to hear from you. Who's I? It's Michelle. You know, have a picture of yourself here, and get there, and, you know, try to, you know, be brave and put yourself out there, since this is a brand page. It's a company, you know, you're a graphic designer, but this page is all about you and what you do for your customers. So I would definitely, you know, think about putting yourself more front row center. Like, I don't love my picture either. What I did is I went to a website, what was it? Headshots.ai, I think it was. Something like that. But you upload, 10 selfies from your cell phone, and then it makes you professional pictures like this one here, right? Like this one here. Like puts me in a suit. I can't stand suits, so it put me in one. That's great. And you can barely tell. They're some of the best pictures I've ever, quote unquote, taken, So, put yourself, that's a real picture of my cell phone. But anyway, that's what I would do is like, get yourself out there and, try not to be afraid of showing your face, because you never know when someone's just gonna be like, I like the way this person looks. She seems nice. And then they hire you. And then, re-optimize everything for graphic designer Boston and start to dominate your area.
And pick a theme that lends itself more to creative. Like this is a very straightforward cookie cutter kind of a theme. There are so many themes. Themeforest.com is a great place to go for WordPress themes. So for example, your banner image there is just kind of a background image, whereas you could use that to showcase some of your previous work. You also have the very first thing you see on the page there is password protected. So now I feel excluded. That would be something I definitely wouldn't want to see on the homepage. The graphic designer plus visual strategist is going back to that landscaper, and we want to kind of make that one single cohesive keyword. And other than that, I think that covers everything from me.
Is that password protection to keep people from like stealing your work, Michelle?
No, I've worked with a lot of clients that I've signed non-disclosures for. So
Okay.
I created work according to like I've changed some information and stuff like that, but they still don't like to see their stuff on the website. So I have that protected. So when I do have a client, I can show it to them personally without having to like send them emails. But like they can see, so I just give them a password and they can see a little bit more of what I've done.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. And then finally, Raycom.co, the power of communications, advanced private 4G solutions based on industry-leading technologies and expertise. Is it the owner of the site or representative still here? Anybody? Nope. Anyway, I don't know if this is B2B or B2C. So I don't know so it's a private networking solution. So integrated hardware, software, and expertise. So they have solutions right here, and they have autonomous guided vehicles, let's say, right? So first thing is we want to make sure that autonomous guided vehicles is an actual search for keyword. And it is, it's fairly competitive, but it's definitely got some volume, so that's good. And close that. So if we go here, autonomous guided vehicles, perfect. This is too long. But see, the meta description is actually, benefit oriented, unlocked, seamless connectivity. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I believe this customer has signed off. She said goodbye earlier.
Oh, that's okay. We'll real quick for the replay. But it's private network solutions for mining, elevate efficiency. So see, this is totally different. This meta description says nothing about autonomous guided vehicles. Literally, it doesn't say. It's a totally different description. It looks like maybe what they're doing is they've copied. Yeah, their meta description is the same on every page. See that? It's the same there as it is there, as it is on artificial intelligence. Yeah, so that's what they did, is they mistakenly copied their meta description from the homepage to every page. So autonomous guided vehicles, we want to have that in the URL. No, great. Title tag, great. And meta description, they missed it. H1 tag, let's see, did they get it? They got it. And then first sentence of the content, they got it. So this has been by far the best optimized page here, because they've got those really important touch points optimized. And then if we go through the headings, they're missing a lot of headings. They've got a duplicate H1 tag. As far as their images go, they've only got a few images, but they're not really optimized, although they're mostly just icons and so forth. It's just this main image here. Yeah, and then there's no, so the SEO is fairly well optimized, but as far when you get into the content is when it falls apart. There's no structure to this. It's just a big block of text. The bullet points help, but there's no H tags, right? You want to avoid, by the way, everybody, big long paragraphs. This looks like a big long paragraph. That's what I consider a long paragraph. What you want your paragraphs to be 2, 3, 4 sentences maybe at the most. And then you want to make them look nice by breaking them up. Sometimes you want your paragraphs to be 1 or 2 sentences like that before you break it up. Otherwise, it just looks like a big block of text. And then you want to have your headings before each section. So you want to structure your content in a logical way, and AI can help you with that. As far as the conversion optimization goes, there is none. Where am I? I can't even tell where I'm at. There's no Raycom logo in the header. That's really a huge mistake. They don't have Raycom up here in the top left corner or the center. So I don't know where I'm at unless I look here, but that doesn't really inspire. Like, they don't have a logo? What kind of company is this that doesn't even have a logo? Everyone expects a logo. In fact, when you go to a logo, like I can go to any page on my site and then click the logo and it will take me right back to the home page. That's why you don't need home, by the way. Michelle and a couple of the others I saw, home button, you don't need that. That's a relic of the past. You do need
I just want to bring up there is a logo there. It's just transparent or hiding behind the menu. If you hover over the mouse light on the left hand side there, it changes to the cursor and you can click on it.
Whoa, really? Wow. Okay, you're right. I don't see it though. But yeah, if we go to there, where am I? What can I do here? Why should I do it? I don't know where I'm at. What can I do here? I don't know what I can do. Why should I do it? Again, so as far as conversions go, it's like, look at all of here's all this information and let us know when you want to get in touch. It's like, there's just no sales. There's no benefits. It's just we, it's like it's just, it's not a sales website. It's basically a
informational.
Yeah, it's more like a portfolio site that has nothing to do with any benefits. Like, there's no real reason that a customer would need to go here. There's nothing here to persuade them to do business with them. So yeah, this one, it's great they have the use cases though. This is like similar thing, a portfolio, success stories for the Pilates. If you're still with us, really great to have these success stories, a page full of reviews, testimonials, all this kind of stuff. Anytime you can help your customers see themselves using your business, you're going to have a higher conversion rate. Okay. Anyway, guys, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Again, Robert Portillo. You're going to get an email. You'll get a few emails. One will have the course replay as soon as it's rendered. It takes Google sometimes up to 24 hours, so please be patient. The resources page here will have all the tools that I talked about and more. And then I encourage you all to join my Facebook groups. This is CRO Junkies, the largest conversion optimization group in the world. It's over 12,000 members, and you can post your websites here when you come up with new sales copy and see what people will give you free advice. And then this one here is AI marketing and teams. Definitely join this one if you're interested. We just started this one a few months ago. AI is changing the way marketing is done, and you can do so much more now and save so much time. And of course, if any of you need help, you can book time with me on my website. you can send me a message. You can join my newsletter. And then there's even a, where's the, oh, right here. You can book me for events and hire me for hourly consulting. Of course, we do SEO and CRO as well. Okay, everybody. Chris, thank you so much for moderating. I appreciate you handling all that. And I appreciate all of you, the 17 of you left who stayed till the very end.
We can't hear you, Robert.
Hey, sorry about that, guys. Thank you to the 16 of you now that stayed till the very end. I accidentally closed it. But do you have any questions? Anything I can answer? If not,
that's just been really, really helpful. Robert. Really appreciate it. All your free time. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Tim. I appreciate it. Okay, guys, I'll see you out there on the internet. I do these once a month. So if you want to join a new one, they're going to be a little bit different every time with different examples. Sometimes repetition is key, and you know, hearing things over and over again is how I learn. And let's see, Talha has a question.
Yeah, Robert, it's I must say it's a great to have this session, and I have a small request. I sent you a LinkedIn request. Would you like to accept that?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Yep. I would
Okay.
love to be in connect with you.
Likewise, I appreciate you coming here. All of you that stayed till the end. This is a, you know, it can get really complicated. This is a beginner class, and I hope maybe to do an intermediate class here soon, maybe an advanced class. There's a lot you can do with SEO. It's a lot of fun. When you get your first ranking, I should say this at the very beginning. I should give you guys hope. It's like, I remember that first time I saw my business on the first page of Google. It's a charge that is you know, surpassed by few things in the business world. Whether you're doing it for a customer or for your own business, it's a great feeling. And then the next best feeling is, you know, someone finds you on the internet and calls you and hires you. SEO is powerful. It is so powerful. And if you can master this one discipline for marketing, you'd be hard pressed to, you know, find anything better, like I said, except email marketing. But you need customers to do email marketing. If cold email marketing is not what I'm talking about, it's about curating a list of people that have already visited your website, which is what I'm trying to do with my own personal brand website. So yeah, stay in touch. Shoot me an email if you have questions. Post in the groups, or shoot me an email, and I'll always do my best to help you if it doesn't take too long. Okay, everybody, I'll see you soon.